Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a gingerbread inspired set. I'm super excited to be sharing this with you guys because for the most part, I feel like if you're a beginner nail tech and you struggle with nail art, try 3D. As insane as that sounds, a lot of the time you will be better at 3D than actual hand painting. It sounds crazy, but I'm going to be explaining everything as thorough as possible so that you guys can really understand the steps to create this exact set. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys learn a ton. Now let's get right into it. Now getting right into today's video, we're going to start a little bit different, but I figured I would reuse the base acrylic that I used on the other video. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove my beautiful design that I created. It hurts my soul, especially on clients, whenever you take so long to do a certain design and then it's time to take it off. It breaks my heart. Tell me you guys don't do the same thing because I will be super shocked. So I'm gonna go ahead and fully remove that design, being extra careful because I do want to preserve the acrylic underneath. So I'm using very light pressure when I'm doing this. Also when I'm doing it on clients, I like to be very careful. So I'm going ahead and using my Kiara Sky rechargeable e-file, and I'm using my 5-in-1 bit for this, medium grit of course, and I'm just carefully removing that design. And we're gonna go ahead and do that on the rest of the nails. Now, whenever you are removing 3D nail art, I want to make sure that you guys know you want to use a little bit more pressure. It's going to help remove it a lot more efficiently, but you also want to make sure you are holding the finger very still. So I'm going to be gripping onto that finger for dear life, and then we're going to be e-filing that off, and you want to continue to move across the nail. As you can see, I start at the top and then I work my way down and then I work in the center. I am moving constantly across and up and down the nail just to make sure that I don't create any type of heat spike, because that is extremely uncomfortable and you do not want to make your client uncomfortable. Now I'm going to be changing up the color just very slightly, and to do so I'm actually using Kiara Sky gel polish. This one is called Chai Spice Latte, and it is one of my favorite colors to use, especially in the fall time, but I figured it would go really good with the gingerbread vibe. So I'm just going to be adding a thin layer of that onto the entire surface of these nails, very carefully around that cuticle, and then I just wipe all the way down the length of the nail. Now you want to go ahead and cure this in the light for a full minute. Now once I'm done curing it in the light and my base is nice and ready, we're going to be going in with a top coat. For this, I'm using the Not Polish Matte It. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it's going to be our base and I'm going to be doing some nail art over top of the surface, and I am not going to be top coating that nail art. So I'm going to go ahead and top coat so I don't have to worry about getting it on top of the nail art afterwards. And of course, we're going to be curing that in the light for a full minute before we go in with our nail art. For our nail art, I am actually using my Amazon 3D nail art brush, which is my OG. It's nice and crusty, but I love it and I will forever love it. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the gingerbread man's little head. And I'm starting off with a small bead and I just basically flatten it out very nicely. And then I'm taking the tip of my brush and just carving at the side to create kind of an effect of it being bitten. So I'm just doing like 2 or 3 little indentations on the side. And then I'm just making sure that I'm flattening it out once again, because when you do create those little divots, it rises the product a little bit on that side. So now we're gonna go on with the body. Now to do this design, I am using silk scarf from Not Polish. It's a really pretty brownish nude color and I love it. So we're gonna start with the neck and then quickly go in and do a little arm. And then I'm just kind of flattening out that area so that when I go in with more product, it kind of flows nicely. So I'm just dragging it wherever I want it to go. With 3D nail art, I've talked about it before, you want to make sure you know what type of bead you want to pick up. So if you want it to stay put, you want to pick up a drier bead. And if you want it to flow and blend and give you a little bit more time to work with it, you're going to be using a more of a wet bead. And basically when I'm creating designs specifically like this little gingerbread man, I'm working with a very wet bead. This is gonna allow me to really drag it wherever I want it to go and blend it wherever I need it to blend. So we're just gonna be cleaning up any little areas, like tucking in those little legs, blending out that area, and then again, kind of making any little area that I need a little bit more crisp with the tip of my brush. As I mentioned earlier, if you want it to stay put, you want to work with the drier bead. So I'm taking a very, very small amount of Big Lip from Not Polish. And now I'm just taking out all the excess monomer from the back of my brush on my napkin. And that's going to dry it out nicely so that when I place it onto wherever I want to place it, the excess monomer isn't going to drip onto it and make it spread everywhere. Now, once we're done with the little buttons, we're going to be taking the white frosting gel paint from Profiles Backstage along with my favorite Amazon nail art brush, and we're just going to be doing little squiggles pretending like it's icing. And because it's called frosting gel paint, I feel like it's the perfect match. It was meant to be. So I'm going to go ahead and do the little squiggles on both the hands and the legs. And then we're going to be creating a little smile on his tiny little face. Now again, we want it nice and dry, and I'm just taking Ice Queen and adding that for the eyes. Now for the rest of the nails, we're going to be doing kind of an icing frosting type of vibe, and to do so we're going to be using Milky White from Not Polish. This is going to be the perfect color for this type of design. So I'm just taking a very wet bead, and then I'm going to be placing some little confetti dots in there. These are actually from a mix called Hippy Dippy from Profiles Backstage. It is flowers, and the center of the flowers came off, and it was like the perfect size and the colors that I wanted. So I'm just going ahead and quickly taking that and really pressing it in there, making it more of a milky design. That was the vibe that I was going, and it worked perfect. So again, I'm just gonna be dripping kind of randomly onto the top of the nail and very quickly adding that chunky glitter to it. And again, you want it to give you a little bit more time to work with it, so you want to work with a more wet bead for this specific type of design. That basically concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am also including a clip where I top coated just the frosting portion, and I definitely like that a lot better. Which one is your favorite, matte or shiny? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.